Hello, everybody. Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. Today it is the 26th of May, 2022. And on today's show, rehab updates for both Stephen Strasburg and for Joe Ross. Also, we will preview the Nationals' four-game set this weekend that begins on Thursday night as they take on the Colorado Rockies. An opportunity maybe to split some games, not lose a series. That's coming up on today's show and more right after this.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Once again, Josh Neighbors here, Locked On Nationals podcast. Today it's the 26th of May, 2022. Glad you are with us here on this Thursday. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at LO_Nationals. You guys can follow me at Josh Neighbors _. You guys can find the show wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube as well. All right, so before we get down to the Nationals series this weekend with the Colorado Rockies and an opportunity maybe to get a couple games off the boys from Denver, a couple updates here. First, let's go with the positive, and I'll read you guys here from ESPN News and Services. Washington Nationals starter Stephen Strasburg allowed 3 runs and 2 2/3 innings in a rehab start for Class A Fredericksburg on Tuesday night during his first rehabilitation appearance since undergoing thoracic outlet surgery last year. The veteran right-hander struck out 3 batters while walking 4. Earlier in the week, Nationals manager Dave Martinez said the club was planning for Strasburg to work 4 innings and throw 60-plus pitches, finished with 61 pitches, including 31 strikes, and topped out at 94 miles an hour against the old Salem Red Sox. All right, so obviously, Stephen Strasburg in the 7-year, $245 million contract, Nationals, are now regretting obviously giving him, but, that is past history. They can't do anything about that now. Strasburg on the road back, and I've seen some theorizing about, hey, when could he make his return? Well, you got to think, if he's pitching now, it should be a couple weeks away. I know our friend Matt Wyrick had speculated, I think around June 8th was maybe where he was speculating. That could be, that's the next, 12 days here. Could be, if he makes a couple more rehab starts. I'll see how, I think they're going to be really cautious when they bring him along. But also the question is, hey, if he's pitching in games, how soon can he come back and do that at the big league level? The Nationals desperately want him back. And so what does that look like? To me, also, it brings up the conversation of what will the Nationals do with their rotation when he does return, right? What is going to be the next kind of step for them when he gets back? How do they handle this? Who gives up their spot in the rotation? So obviously, I think a couple guys that are surefire stays, that there's a big 3 right now that really are your for sure going to stay in the rotation. That is going to be Patrick Corbin, Josiah Gray, and Eric Fetty, and all for different reasons. For me, those 3 are the guys there because number one, Patrick Corbin is being paid a lot of money to pitch for the Washington Nationals, and he goes every 5th day, and the Nationals need that, and so at least they've got that going with Patrick Corbin. Number 2, it has to be Josiah Gray because of his youth, and they want to get him as much experience as possible. And hopefully, he learns and goes through the ups and downs of being a big league pitcher this season. He's going through plenty of ups, and he's on a downslope right now. But I think it's, you guys have heard me before. I think this is a spectacular learning opportunity for one Josiah Gray right now. So he's got to be there. And then the last one's Eric Fetty because of how well he has pitched, especially recently. I was talking about Eric Fetty yesterday, but, he has become the best pitcher on the Washington Nationals right now, and there is no arguing about that. His last month has been fantastic. And so when you think about, hey, who has to remain in this rotation for the Nationals? Who needs those reps? Well, Eric Fetty as a potential guy of the future and as a trade chip is a guy who needs to be there. And also Josiah Gray, part of the future. And then Patrick Corbin, you're paying him a lot of money. I also want to finally get those numbers to you. I wasn't able to get them yesterday about Eric Fetty in this month. 27 2/3 innings in the month of May. 21 hits allowed, 6 runs earned that have been allowed, only 2 homers allowed. Does have 14 walks, but has 23 Ks, 37 ground balls, 1.95 ERA on the month, has gotten his ERA as a whole down, and it's now around it's 3.55. So yeah, when it comes to Strasburg, that's where I'm at in that situation with the guys that stay with him. Who has to go? So Aaron Sanchez and Yohan Adon are the next two. Look, you're less tied to Sanchez than Adon, in my opinion, and so I would cut him loose. Although I'm not sure how often the Nationals need to keep throwing out Yohan Adon anymore, because it really does not seem like it's been going too well for him right now. He's just 23 years old, young guy once again. But this seems like somebody needs a bit more seasoning before they fully cut him loose, and I mean, cut him loose like at the major league level, like really turn or depend on him at least in some fashion. So I would say that is where I'm at, with Strasburg. Then you go to Joe Ross. And bad news is tightness in his right elbow ended his rehab start that he had. So this is news coming to us, earlier this morning, Patrick Reddington. It says Nationals GM Mike Rizzo had many positive things to say about the rehab starts of Stephen Strasburg and Joe Ross. And then Double-A Harrisburg, I think, was Joe's. But Joe Ross, he did experience some tightness. So, right in that start. But he did go 3 innings, 4 Ks, 2 hits, no runs allowed, but it did end with some tightness. And that's not, obviously not something you want to see. We'll see what this means for him coming back. But the numbers for him were pretty strong. We did see him yesterday. I think we saw him yesterday in the dugout, unless that wasn't him. Yeah, it was good to see Joe get, it said Joe got pulled out of the game, got a little tightness in his right elbow, so he finished 3 innings and then couldn't go out for the 4th. So they're gonna get an MRI on him and hopefully things go well. That's not good. But it is typical to experience some soreness, right? When you're just getting back out there, elbow soreness, we'll see what that relates to, and we'll see if he can continue. I think it's pretty simple when Ross comes back. Hopefully they can get all 5 guys together, but you knock Adon out. I mean, this rotation, they're sure we'll talk about it, who should be in the rotation, whatever, once again. But with the way everybody's pitching right now, it's got to be Corbin. It's got to be Ross, it's got to be Corbin. It's got to be Gray. It's got to be Fetty. And if you can knock out Adon and Sanchez, knock them out of the rotation for Joe Ross and Stephen Strasburg. To me, that's pretty simple. It's pretty clean cut what they have to do right there. All right, quick break here, then we'll get to the series coming up this weekend for the Washington Nationals. Today's show is brought to you by the folks at Built Bar. Go to Built.com today. That's Built.com. Use the promo code LOCK15, LOCKED15, LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com today. They've got Built Goat. They've got Built Boost. They've got Built Puffs. They got everything you all could possibly want and need there at Built.com. It tastes good. It's good for you. You all will love it. Once again, Built.com today. Promo code LOCK15 for 15% off on your first purchase. All right, so we know that the Nationals have a 4-game set coming up this weekend with the Colorado Rockies. It is now a weekend series. Not got moved, but it's a weekend series. And we have to, as we always do, figure out where the Nationals sit at this moment in time. The Nationals are 15-30. They are 13 and a half games back of the first place New York Mets. They are 6.5 back of the second place Atlanta Braves. They are, 5.5 back of the Phillies, and they are 4.5 back of the Miami Marlins. Also, notes here coming into the series, as we always give these right now for the Nationals. They are 6-17 at home. They are 9-13 on the road. They have a minus 63 run differential. They have won 1 game, and they are 3-7 in their last 10. The Rockies, all right, where are they? Well, things have not been going well for them lately. Now, they're not like this awful ball club, but I think this is one where the Nationals can take advantage. They are 20-23. They are 9 games back of the Dodgers. They are 7.5 games back of the Padres. They are 4 games back of the Giants. They are 2 games back of the Diamondbacks. They are in last place, as I mentioned. 14-11 at home, 6-12 on the road, a -33 run differential. They lost their last game, so the L1 is their losing streak. They are 3-7 in their last 10 games. So yeah, once again, this team is not very good in the road. The problem is for the Nationals, they have not been very good at home. And this is an offensive team in the Rockies that's coming in here. They just dropped 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh. Previous to that, they dropped 2 of 3 at home against the Mets. They dropped 2 of 3 before that against the Giants. They dropped 2 of 3 before that against the Royals. They dropped 3 in a row to the San Francisco Giants. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Their last series win was, guess who? The Washington Nationals. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive series losing for them. 7 consecutive series, I believe it is now, for the Nationals coming in to this weekend. So it's a 4-game set, chance maybe to get us. I mean, I would take anything. Like, if you're a Nats fan, you've got to be taking a split at this point in time, right? With just how things have been going, you'll take a series split. The Nationals losing streak of the series, the last one they won was that Giants series that ended on May 1st. Since then, they dropped the Colorado series 1, the Angel series is 2, the Mets series is 3, Houston series is 4, Miami series is 5, Milwaukee is 6, Dodgers is 7. So that's how we have gotten to where we are at right now. All right, let's set some things up for you all on the weekend. 4-game set, 7:05, 7:05, 4:05, and 1:35 are your respective start times. All these can be seen on Masson. The one exception, if you're out of market, if you have ESPN Plus, you can check out the game on ESPN Plus on Friday night, 7:05. So your pitching matchups. For the opposing team, for the Rockies, it is going to be German Marquez who will make the start. He is off to a really rough start this season. So the Nationals will look to be capitalizing off Marquez, who is 1-4 so far this year, with a 6.14 ERA, 6.65 the earned run average in the month, and his last start was a rough one, 6 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, so nothing awful start, but 11 hits is a lot. 7 Ks in a 5-1 loss against the Mets. He has given up at least 3 earned runs in every single one of his starts and has not gone longer than 6 innings. So Marquez, especially he's had a couple rough ones that have been on the road. The Phillies got him on the road, 7 runs against him back in April. Also, the Diamondbacks put 4 runs on him in a 4-0 win in 6 innings of work. They walked 4 times as well. That was the last road start he had made. So we'll see if the Nats can kind of extend the German Marquez bad streak, although we do know he can be a really good pitcher, at least by Colorado standards too. Has had a couple of really nice years there in Colorado. We know it's really difficult to do so. Also, the Nationals, going for them, it'll be Patrick Corbin in game 1 of this series. So the Nationals will send out Corbin, who, was on a good streak, and then things have kind of tailed off for him. 0-7, 6.60 ERA on the year, a 1.69 whip for him. This month has been better than the first month. He had an 8.69 ERA in the first month of the season. And then now in month number 2, it's 4.88. So things got better, but last 2 starts have been rough for him. He's surrendered 10 earned runs in the last 11 innings that he has worked. And the Nationals have not won a start that he has made. Forget attributing wins and losses. They have not won a game that he has started. But let me tell you all, here's how many runs the Nationals have scored in his starts. 1-0, 4-2, 2-1, 3-4-1. That is absolutely absurd. The Nationals in his last 4 starts have scored a combined 5 runs. In the previous 5 starts that he has made, the Nationals scored, it was actually a bit better in those 5 starts. Let's see, they scored 6, 10, 11. So over the course of the starts that he has made this year, the Nationals have scored 16 runs, it looks like, this year in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 9 starts he has made. So they're averaging below 2 runs a game per every Patrick Corbin start. They're putting a lot of pressure on him, and he has not been pitching well. That's usually been a recipe for disaster for the Nats this year. Also in the series coming up, so this would be your Friday game, and I like the fact that some of these games, I never know the rhyme or reason to which ones are on ESPN Plus, but this Friday game on ESPN Plus, if you want to go there, it's going to be Austin Gomber going up against Aaron Sanchez, who we mentioned before. Gomber actually had a pretty nice start to the year, 2-4 with a 4.11 ERA and a 1.20 whip last start out. 7 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 13 ground balls in 7 innings, and a 2-0 loss against the Mets. So he's actually been off to a really nice start so far this season. And he did pick up a win already on the year against the Nationals. 6 2/3, 7 hits, 2 runs, and 10 ground balls and 6 Ks as well, 94 pitches against the Nats back on the 4th of May. So it'll be his second go around against the Nats. Had success the first time around. We'll see if the Nats can get to him in his second appearance against the Nats this season. For the Nats, it'll be Aaron Sanchez going. I'm not sure about you guys, but I can't wait for him to be out of the rotation. I think I've seen enough Aaron Sanchez. He has had a couple nice moments, but he's 3-3 with a 7.16 ERA and a 1.70 whip and a 27 2/3 innings pitch. He has struck out 13 though. Last time out, I do have to mention, like, it was a better start. And the Nationals actually have won 3 of the games that he started in. Five innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 homer, 2 walks, 1 K. Did get 12 ground balls in that game against Milwaukee. But before that, he got hit pretty good. Roughed up a little bit against the Mets. They did win that game, and then roughed up also against the Rockies before that. So Aaron Sanchez is just really inconsistent, and he's, a guy that's dealt with injury issues throughout his career too. I think is better off probably in the bullpen, but somewhere. But the Nationals, needing a starting pitcher, will toss him out there every 5th day, at least for the time being. Then in the 4th game of the series, it'll be Yohan Adon going for the Washington Nationals against Chad Cole. And, he's had a pretty good year too, 3-2, 3.67 ERA, 1.27 whip on the year. That's been impressive. But this last month for him, he started off with 1.90 ERA in the month of April. In May, 6 flat. And they've lost the last 4 games he's pitched in too. So the Nationals might have an opportunity here against him to get things going. The 29-year-old right-hander from Delaware is coming back home to the East to pitch. Yohan Adon goes out there. He really did struggle. Adon did in his last time out. It feels like for him, it's just, it's going to be inconsistent. He's a young kid who should not be at this level. He's 1-8 with a 6.97 ERA, but the Nationals, so short on pitching, need him out there right now. And, his numbers have been a little better this month, but they've lost the last 6 games where he has pitched, and he has not made it past 5 innings. He's made a 5 full, but he has not made it past 5 innings in his last, 6 starts. Also, he's another guy who's been dealing with the Nationals' bad offense. Last 4 starts, the Nationals have scored a combined 3 runs. They had 10-1 loss, 5-1 loss, 4-1 loss, 3-0 loss. So you're saying, oh, well, he's not giving up too many runs. He's also not making it that far into ball games. That's a huge problem for him, too. And he walks a lot of guys as well. So we'll see if Adon can keep the ball in the zone on Saturday against the Rockies. And then the final game of the series, it is going to be Kyle Freeland going up against, I have to double check here, Josiah Gray. So Freeland 1-4 this year with a 4.60 earned run average on the year, a Denver, Colorado native. He has had a lot better month here of May. 28 innings, 3.54 ERA. So he's making quality starts, and the Rockies have won 4 of the 5 games that he has pitched in. Josiah Gray really needs a rebound. We talked about it yesterday. If you guys want to hear more about that, you guys can go back to yesterday's show, but he needs a rebound desperately. He's going to face a tough Colorado lineup to try and get that rebound. This is a guy that we know needs to get back on the horse and needs to learn from these bad starts that he's making. So Corbin, Sanchez, Adon, and Gray going to be starting this weekend for the Nationals. All right, that will do it for today's show. One more quick word from our sponsors before we get out of here. Today's show is brought to you by BetOnline and BetOnline.net. If you guys want to bet on this weekend's baseball action, you guys can go to BetOnline and BetOnline.net today. It's the best place to do so. When you guys do, you'll find a full collection of odds for NASCAR, for football, for basketball, for F1, for college futures as well. UFC, boxing, Gervonta Davis fight this weekend. Sure, you can bet on that over at BetOnline and BetOnline.net today. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LO_Nationals. You guys can follow me at Josh Neighbors_. Find the show wherever you get your podcast, and you guys can find us on YouTube as well. That will do it. Till next time, my friends, as always, stay safe.